Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Roaming Prepper channel. This is not a scheduled live. It's nowhere near my normal times, but I figured that'd be as good a time as any to throw a short live out. Although the last short live I did unannounced actually wound up being an hour and a half long. So much for being short. Folks, it has been a really interesting week. I've seen some good signs. I thought I'd share some good news with everyone. So, first thing, I've noticed that I'm seeing articles about the return of American manufacturing. But screw this, screw imports. We're going to go find our product somewhere else, or we're going to make it ourselves. And that's not a bad thing, guys. That's definitely something good. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing a lot of new products coming in from Guatemala. I'm seeing them come in from Taiwan, South Korea, Mexico, Canada. Mexico and Canada in particular, they're in the same boat we're in. So it would behoove us to all kind of work together so our folks can get to work. But despite all the supply chain issues, I'm starting to see the companies follow the five forces of business, which did not surprise me at all. So they're starting to angle themselves along the lines of finding new suppliers, finding new products, finding new sources, and being able to adapt their businesses to keep themselves afloat is a good thing for all of us. I went through 5 cities in Texas a couple of weeks ago on a road trip, and that's that week that I sounded like a flat tire in all my videos because I was just tired. That was a hell of a lot of driving. And I will tell you, there was plenty of product out there. And more importantly, there were plenty of alternatives. So if you couldn't find beef, you found chicken. If you couldn't find uh, sweaters, you could find hoodies. You just had to get creative. I also noticed a lot of the companies, their supply chains are not consistent. So one guy will always have, hey, Tennessee, what's going on? I saw your little video earlier. I don't know if you saw my comment about the media having a meltdown because they don't know what to say. Um, it actually, it's funny, Tennessee, that you popped in because it annoys the crap out of me that media is saying Virginia was all about racism, but there's a Latino who just won attorney general there. So and the lieutenant governor is a black woman, African American woman. So to me, that's a pretty diverse win. I was pretty impressed with what they did in Virginia. That was a hell of a grassroots they pulled, um, which is good. You know, we need to kind of everyone come back to the middle and stop doing crazy shit. But by the way, folks, anyone who sees this later, if you haven't seen Tennessee's channel, go find it. Um, it's he's got some great stuff on there, and there's some fun stuff too. Uh, but in any case, guys, I'm seeing it. Hey, Stuart, what's going on? Said looks at China Mart. So China Mart was full out here. I've hit about 5 different cities. I hit Midland, Odessa, Houston, Dallas, Austin. No, I cut through Austin. I didn't stop there. And 2 little smaller cities I didn't hit. So basically, I went a big circle. Hey, Joe. Um, and by the way, folks, if anyone has questions about firearms, Joe's really talented at the stuff. He doesn't have a channel, but he answers questions. Just make it short because you don't have a lot of room on the chat. But yeah, everything's stocked. The shortages I'm seeing now seem to be either regional or store specific. So such and such store doesn't have beef. I spoke to the meat manager for the region at HEB, which is a big chain down here. For those of you closer to the Atlantic, it would be like a Piggly Wiggly on steroids. And is a Jamaican-born citizen. Okay, is that the lieutenant governor of Tennessee? Because that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, how do you beat that? That's awesome. And she's from the islands too, which is where my family's from. We're from Puerto Rico, not Jamaica, but still, it's exciting when folks from the islands become successful. Uh, Especially if she's a Marine, like who wouldn't love that? Um, but in any case, a lot of regional shortages, but it's not anything really bad. And what the HEB meat manager told me, she said, we can get meat. We're sourcing from mainly the US. So the import stuff is kind of hit and miss, but she said we're getting shrimp from the Gulf, we're getting fish from Cali and from Alaska. She said we're getting beef from Texas, Louisiana. We're getting a bunch from Colorado, Wyoming, all the ranch country. She said our biggest problem is finding workers to butcher the meat into a form that you can then put on the shelf. She said it's not we don't have meat, it takes us a while. So she said that's why you'll see, like at the end of the weekend, everyone buys their groceries, the supply depletes, and then there's like 2 days where you don't see anything, and people are like, ah, it's a shortage. She said it's not a shortage. We have it. We just can't process it fast enough. And it takes us a few days before people start seeing it on the shelves. So look for those. Talk to your local store managers for the groceries and other stuff you need, and just ask them, hey, are you getting product, and if you are, when can you get it to the shelves? Um, yeah, it is. Joe's absolutely right. I'd highlight your comment, Joe, but I can't reach the phone from here, and as you can see, I probably shouldn't be playing with the phone other than talking to it. But yeah, the supply isn't terrible. I would like to also announce that another military veteran just took the House of Representatives seat in San Antonio, uh, which is great, and two in South Texas, and all of them are Latinos, all of them vets, and all of them conservatives. So it's very interesting, that dynamic we're seeing in the country, but also watching the businesses adjust. Yeah, I shouldn't play with the phone. Watching the businesses shift to try and adapt. So, my own members of my own family, actually, my daughter is importing arts and crafts material to then create products for her business. And she's shifted gears. She's getting stuff from Bali, from Nepal, from South America, from Guatemala. And she said the product is good. They're coming in on time. Um, so I'm talking to people both I know personally as well as corporate types, and they're there you go, Tennessee, hell yeah. Um, they're everyone's shifting. So the businesses are shifting, they're adapting. It's straight out of Porter's Five Forces. That business model is the threat of a lack of substitutes. So they're finding substitutes or they're making them. So we may see some manufacturing jobs starting to pop up again, which is great. Um, our big thing now is labor and inflation. Uh, I think we've all beat it to death, but we've printed way too much money. And the value of money is a function of GDP, the velocity of the money moving around the market, um, but also wages, stuff like that. And the Fed yesterday announced they're going to start removing the financial supports that they put in place during COVID. So you're going to see those checks, the support, the write offs starting to disappear. Hopefully, that'll push people back into the business market, get them working again, and then get them spending, and kind of get that money circulating. Um, so it'll be, it's a wait and see, guys, but I'm seeing the businesses shift. I'm seeing private stores are sourcing from completely new places. So everyone started to adapt. And that's not a bad thing, guys. This is really good. And Joe, funny you say that. I saw an article. I don't know if you saw a similar article, that the firearms industry is one of the ones that still has maximum capacity or something like that. It was kind of a tongue in cheek article, but it was kind of funny to listen to. Um, Also, it sounds like we've made some deals overseas. Maybe if one of the good things the president has done is reach out to allies and make some deals, get our manufacturing or military gear kind of sold out to their militaries. We'll see how that goes. But now, there were reports of a new virus in China. I think Southern Prepper One, to give credit to where I first heard about it. He couldn't confirm it, at least at the time of the video I saw. I finally saw something through a news channel coming out of Calcutta, India, that I follow, and they said it's a tick-borne disease, but they've had an outbreak, and the Chinese were so focused on COVID that they didn't pay attention to this other thing, and they've had a bit of an outbreak. But they said it transmits much like what's that stuff from Africa? Not dengue fever. Good Lord, help me out here, guys. Um, Actually, Tennessee, I would do a business model, man. There's a book called Will It Fly? It's written by a guy who counsels entrepreneurs. He's done very well himself, and I'm sure the book helped him. But it gives you like a flow chart of, if I'm going to start a business, what are the steps I need to take? And is this the right market? Is it the right location? It's kind of like a step-by-step flow chart of how to kick off a small business. The book will cost you about $20. It's certainly an interesting read, even if you decide not to open a business, man. Um, I would definitely look at sourcing regionally as well. Small grocery stores are making a huge comeback from what I'm seeing, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's interesting, guys. I can't see Joe's comment because the text is itty bitty, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's probably the strongest American industry, Joe, is military and tech. Um, China stopped thumping their chest about Taiwan for now. I'm sure they'll start it up again. See, just make sure you do your homework. I would pick up some books on startup businesses. I definitely also look into getting a brand, branding yourself, and you can do a lot of this on your own, and then just like pawn out like graphic design, unless you can do it. Pay a dude or a girl, a couple of $100 to get you a good logo, get your good name for your store. Um, do that in advance so you don't open a store and you don't have a sign or a brand up there. Um, that's actually, I wrote one of my white papers in grad school about starting small businesses, um, which is something I may do in 2022. I just haven't decided where and when yet. But yeah, guys, if you're gonna, and no, it's not Zika, Flodes. It's the stuff that makes you poop blood. I'm not to be morbid. God, I can't remember. Help me out here, guys. Ebola. Thank you, Tennessee. God, I was completely gone there. Ebola. So it transmits like Ebola. It's saliva, mucus, body fluids. They said there's been some proximity spread, but it's usually family members in the same house. Like you're all up against each other. They said it doesn't seem as contagious as the Rona or anything else. So, um, yeah. So what we're hearing, that if that's what Southern One was talking about, that would be more a regional outbreak. Um, we should keep an eye on it because you never know nowadays. Things just magically change. But yeah, it's interesting, guys. So if you're looking for product, what I would recommend right now is start looking at different locations. If you can't find it in store A, look around, check the farmers market. I'm finding pretty much everything I need. There is an inflationary effect. The guys in business, both energy sector and manufacturing that I've talked to, the guys and girls, have told me they're expecting an additional 8 to 10% inflation between labor costs and materials before it'll level off. And then maybe 2024, it's going to come back down again and kind of flatten out. So just be ready for that, guys. Don't Don't freak out, but definitely look. And that's why I post a lot of the local costs where whenever I travel through different parts of the state. Texas is such a big freaking place that you could have like completely separate sub economies going from one side of Texas to the other. So I kind of post those prices just to give you guys a little flavor of what I'm seeing, and then we can price compare. But yeah, folks, we're seeing the product. The companies are starting to switch providers, and in the long term, maybe that's good for us as the American or the Western consumer, in that these companies are not relying so heavily on one source, which is China. Hey, Lucky. Hey, Bug Dude. Um, oh, yeah, Lucky. This was completely unplanned and I won't be on for very long. I just had something in my head, and before I completely forgot, I wanted to throw it out there. So, guys, continue to check those stores. Uh, like I said, they're thinking, the folks I go to ask these kind of questions, they're thinking 8 to 10% inflation through 2022, mainly due to personnel attrition, stuff like that. And then it's going to start rolling back down. And but you should find your products. And lucky you missed it. You rolled in just a few minutes ago, but I rolled through 4 or 5 cities last week, and I found pretty much anything and everything you wanted, but you had to search for it. If you go to Walmart, it may not have it. Seriously, I parked my truck and there's a crow pecking at my windshield. Okay, now I just windshield washed the bird and he flew away. That'll teach him. Um, Pain in the ass birds. But anyway, I just wanted to share that as I get agitated at local birds. Um, I just wanted to share that with you. There's a little bit of an inflationary effect. We're going to see it through 2022. Is uh, are all the companies are already accounting for that. But I've had people also tell me you're going to see it in the consumer price. So just be ready for it. Um, you know what it is, Tennessee? There are not enough employees. So the ones that are qualified, that are coming back, like the meat market manager at HEB, um, to find qualified trained people, they have to pay more to attract them to their company versus working somewhere else. So you're seeing that the prices go up partly because of labor, partly because of logistics. Also, gas and diesel have gone up. Until that all kind of levels out, we're going to see that inflationary effect, guys. So just plan for that as you go into next year. That's all we can do, right? We can't control the shit. But I've seen that, Joe. I've seen a lot of people fake sick, and it's backfiring now because a lot of companies. Uh, okay, and Bug Dude's gonna post a video of. We'll have a short video out in a few minutes. So Bug Dude's gonna have a video on Augustin Farms. And by the way, collaborate with other people. Like there are a few of us I know are from Texas, a few of you from Kentucky, a few of you from Tennessee. I don't know if I think Joe's by himself up in his state, but there may be someone else from his state. So if collaborate with other folks, and if you're looking for something, post it and say, hey, I'm looking for a widget and I can't find in my area. And other people may be able, at the very least, to tell you, hey, I didn't see it in Houston, but I saw one in Dallas. I didn't see one in Memphis, but I saw it outside of Memphis in this store, and trade that information. You guys will probably benefit from trading that info. But guys, I got to make a stop here. This was just a really impromptu live, and I'm gonna have to jump down. So I think Lucky, are you going live here in a few minutes once you kind of set up? Howling Sarge. And then Bug Dude is also going to post something. So if you haven't found his Bug Dude site, look for that one as well. And hold on a second here. Yep. So I'm going to go get my stuff done. You guys be safe. Lucky, I'm going to be late to yours. I got to get something done here, but have fun with your stream. You guys be safe. And I have a technical video showing up at 6:30-ish, 6. But in any case, you guys be safe, take care, and keep watching the pricing. But we're gonna hit some inflation, and then we should just roll out from there. So just stay on top of it. That's all we can do. Be good, guys. Take care.